What's going on? Today I'm going to unveil my new Salomon setup. So let's get started here by saying, why would you want to skate Salomons if there are so many other skates out on the market, like Gods, and there's some good USDs. Well, I had a pair of USD sways that I wasn't really too happy with. Wasn't really let's say they were just hurting my feet a lot, and I was kind of not, they were 10.5, that's what I wear, and they were kind of just hurting my feet, so I decided to swap skates. When I was considering this, I thought about Gods because I found, for the price range of about $100, I found a pair in my size on Facebook Marketplace. And I said, well, I could go with that, or I could go with Carbons. I found another pair of Carbons that were in my size. And so you say, well, why would you want to go with Salomons? Some people might argue, say, well, Ricardo Leño made a video about it, why you should not buy Salomons, and it's not helping our industry, right? Okay. Well, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, what's my favorite setup that I've ever skated? Okay. That would be Salomon skates they had the Kaiser suspension frames. All right. And then I said, well, if I can't find the suspension frames, I like the M types too. So this is a little bit older setup, throwback, back in the days of skating. So companies like Salomon were the ones who created UFS. UFS allows you to remove your frame off of your skate. They created the first flat shell skate. Okay. So back to the argument about Ricardo Leño, and then he also made another video. I would like to add this in there, that he made another video. I know we'll get to the reveal, but he made another video about how he actually likes skating Salomons. And Back to Blading also did a review on Aaron Feinberg's Salomons, and he said he liked them too. So basically, I was looking, you turn 38, you're still skating, and you want something that's going to offer you comfort. And just the skate that I wanted, I got the exact setup I wanted, and I'm going to show you that right now. So let's start with the wheels here. So I've got some large wheels. I don't know what size they are. They're pretty big, so you actually have to modify the actual toe and the heel of the skate to fit big wheels on here. So these are Kaiser M types, which are freestyle frames. They allow you to basically grind anything. It's just basically got a huge H block here, and that's, to snap these frames, you would literally have to break this H block and the part underneath. So let's flip them around. They have trigger sole plates on them. Okay, so you can see trigger sole plates, this groove right here. So I want you to look at how easy it is to do a Royale. So we're talking locked on, actually let me see if I can do it like this. So we're talking locked. So you can see like a normal Royale would be like that. Okay. This is locked on the groove Royale. So I wanted something that was going to make it low to the ground, give me something low, but at the same time I have big wheels. So my mod that I did for the trigger sole plates, I actually just put in the original Salomon plates. I grinded them down on the sides, and then I put these on top. Okay, and I actually just made this, if you can see how it splits in the center here, I made like a wide body. I just took off of what Salomon already did, which was I made a two-piece sole. So this sole, and then I just attached them into the screws. You can see there's 4. I used 4 of the original 6 that are in the front. Or actually, I think I used 3. I used 2 over here and one on this side, and then I used all 4 in the back. So, and then plus you have so that's going to be plenty, you know what I mean? And if you look at this, I'm pushing down on the sole plate here. There's nothing, no flex, no nothing. Moving this, there's nothing. So the frames are actually attached into the original sole plates. So I'm not getting any flex. So what I originally tried to do was do this just as a 2-piece sole and attach the frames on, okay? I used the trigger plate mounting mechanism, okay? But what the problem I was getting is the frame was like tilting, okay? So I had to go back and redo this. So if you were to buy a trigger sole plate and get it to work, what you have to do is cut it into a 2-piece sole. You basically just cut out the whole center section, and then you're going to use your original white ones that, like when you take off, if you have a wide body, or just the regular white ones, and you have to grind down the sides of the skate. So you have to get this part completely flat. This part you have to right here. You have to grind down this toe area a little bit. You have to grind down this toe area a little bit, and the back one has to be flat too. Okay. Now, a few issues that I had in making this mod was, on one of my skates, I went a little bit too far. It's a little bit under here, but I went a little bit too far, and I actually went just a hair through the shell. But my fix for that is they sell a product that I think it's called Minute Weld, and it hardens to metal. And so what I did was I put it in the heel. I think it was like on this side. So I put it in the heel inside the actual shell, going out, and then when I put it in there, so you would push on it and it would flex a little bit, and as soon as I put that stuff in there and it hardened overnight, man, it worked good. So let me just give you a 360 view of this. So that's a trigger sole plate on a pair of Salomons, and then the front looks pretty okay because you have big wheels, the insole, and then the back. Okay, and you can actually see the white from the original plate. I might actually cover that up. So what I did, if you look here, is there's a big gap right here. So what I did was I got some black silicone and filled all this in. And when I did it, it was like popping out a little bit. I tried to get it as clean as possible. And then as soon as it dries, it kind of how shall I say? It like shrinks in a little bit, and it makes it look good. So this is a relatively easy mod to do if you know what you're doing. So that's it. Salomons skate with the trigger sole plate on. Have not skated them yet. I just got them finished today. So I will also do a review on how they skate. And I'm imagining they will do good. So like I was saying, Royales are going to be... this is a standing Royale, and you're locked in. But since it has big wheels, when you're riding, the ride height is exactly like the height of a normal Salomon skate. Okay? The other benefit to having this low... See how low the frame is? And so the frame is actually pushed up in, and then you have the addition of the sole plate. So since I did that, what's going to happen is if I go to do cess slides, it's going to be super easy to do a cess slide. Any grind tricks that require like on a rail like this is going to be super easy. You can grind pretty much anything. And I'm not looking to go and do like drop rails or hammers or anything like that. I'm just looking to have some fun skating. And when you get older, you want to come up with something that's going to make it easier for you to skate. And so I got from Back to Blading actually mentioned, he said, I don't remember what skate it was. I think it was the Razor Shifts. He said they've got a really low frame and the sole plate's really wide, so it's like super easy. It's almost like cheating at skating. Okay, another thing I did, if you look at the negatives, okay, the negatives are now bigger. So they're going to work really, really nicely. So like I said, this is very, very solid. I made sure all the screws were good. I even put a little bit of JB Weld. I bought it thinking maybe, hey, I might need it. And I actually put some on the insole here, underneath it. Like before I put the frame on, I put some on the side. So that actually kind of welded this piece down. And it's just going to make it more sturdy. And you might be like, okay, well, what if you have to take your skates apart? I really am not going to take these skates apart. And if I ever sell them, I'm going to sell them as is modded and, and you'll get a pretty cool pair of skates. Okay, so now you might be saying, all right, what about, they have USD carbons, they have Seba sole plates, they have USD 7s, I believe, or God sole plates. So people have done that. USD sole plates have been done. SL sole plates have been done. REM sole plates have been done. Everybody's, all these sole plates have been done. So I wanted to go beyond what everybody else has already done and do something completely new. Okay, and I was looking at the sole plates that were possible. So you have to have a flat sole plate in order to do this. Okay. I actually tried to first mod my sway sole plate because I was getting rid of my sways. I didn't have any need for them. And so I tried to mod the sway sole plate, but it has a raised heel. So some shells from the old days have a raised heel. So in the back, it goes up, okay, like that. And that's to give you heel lift. The way Salomons work is they have a heel pad in the inside. And let me actually pull out my... So I'm going to show you what I did. Most people use the Razor SL heel pads. And I'm going to show you what I did here. So I added this little piece of foam right on the outside. When I was skating it with the wide bodies on, I was getting a little bit of pressure just on the wide bodies. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have that same issue with these. And if I don't, I'll probably just take it out. But it was giving a little bit of padding. So I'm going to go in here real quick and show you my solution to the heel pad thing. So they say that you need to get SL heel pads, like you have to use it religiously, like you've got to use them. But what I did, I took a sway sole plate. So these are by my fit. You can see they're not that thick, okay? And then I also got this one from Walmart. So this was about like $8 from Walmart. It's a gel pad. And I just took this one, and there's a little nub in the back of the Salomons that's for the original ones that's made to hold... That's just made to hold the shock absorber in place. So what I did was I just doubled them over like this. And now it's not as high as the original Salomons. But like we just discussed, all it is for heel raise. To raise your heel up, like to make it lean forward a little bit. So that's kind of whatever you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be super, super high, because that's... you can put the SL ones in there if you like that ride height. But I remember I actually had these exact same skates before, and I skated them. And I remember the first time I put them on, I was like leaning really far forward because there's so much heel lift because of the heel pad. So you do not have to get SL heel pads. You can put whatever heel pads you want to in there. You're going to either have to cut out the nub that's in the back, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You can see... There it is. Well, you're not really going to be able to see it on camera. If you can see it, it's like back. You can kind of see it through my finger. So it's like right in this area. Like if you look closely, you can see it. So it's in the back right there. And it's just like a little nub that holds the shock absorber in place. And so the way I got around that was a 2-second solution. Just drilled a hole in this heel pad. And then I'm layering it like that. And this gel one is really comfy, and you need this length of a heel pad though. Okay, this is actually pretty necessary. So the original Salomon sole plates or heel pads were about this length. And so they get deteriorated over time, and you have to replace them. So this actually works. Actually, I remember a guy back in the day, he had a pair of Salomons, and he took... the old TRSs, I don't think it was the Alpha, it was before that. It was like the first ones, the first white ones. They were like white and gray. If anybody knows what they're called, post in the comments of this video. I don't really recall. I skated like all of them. I just actually bought all the skins. I had the same shells and just bought all the skins. I don't know if anybody else remembers those days when you could just replace skins on skates. And but anyway, so what he did was he actually took a Salomons and he put the TRS sole plates on there, okay? And what got me interested, why I got Salomons in the first place, was I was looking around on the internet and I saw people putting Remedy sole plates. I saw people putting carbon sole plates. I saw people putting USD 7 sole plates. I saw, what else did I see? I saw somebody who got the rollerblade, I believe they were from like the Solo area where they had the two wide bodies, like the dual wide bodies, like they stole that from Salomon. They just got the idea from Salomon and said, hey, let's just put two wide bodies on our skates. Whichever one those were, I think those were the Solos made by Rollerblade. And someone did that. What else have I seen? So basically, SL, Genesis. So you have a few routes to go. And I saw all this, and I'm like, man, that looks really cool. I would like to do that. But I wanted to do it in a method that nobody has done. Something no one's done before. And when I started looking at this, I got into a Salomon forum on Facebook, and just nobody had done the trigger sole plate. Nobody had done it, you're gonna get half people think that it's crazy. You just ruined a pair of Salomons that can't be replaced. And listen, to you people, you can go on Facebook Marketplace, eBay. You can go all over and find a pair of Salomons. Like the place I got my Salomons. There's more people selling Salomons, so you can replace them. Okay, and to them, and to those people, to the haters who are gonna post hate video, hate comments, hate speech in this video saying, "Oh, why'd you ruin a pair of Salomons?" Look, if you put carbon sole plates on, if you added any sole plate on there, you're doing the same thing I did. Okay, so don't sit here and complain. And some people are gonna like it, some people are not gonna like it. To each his own. Everyone's got their own opinion about what they're gonna like, what they're not gonna like. So the reason why I went with this is so I saw all these different photos online, and I'm like, man, I could probably do something like that. I like modding, and so I bought a pair of Salomons with that in mind to mod them. And as you can see, I was successful, got trigger sole plates, and I was looking online, and I was trying to figure out which ones were actually available. So the USD 7s were actually out of stock. I was eventually going to get those because that's what, everybody did, and it seemed pretty easy to do. And so they were out of stock, and most places were out of stock of whatever. So my only two options were the God sole plates or the trigger sole plates. And I was looking at the groove in the trigger sole plates, and I was like, man, that looks like that would be really, really good. And so that's what I got. And I originally started to mod them into a one-piece sole, because I know that's going to be a question that's going to pop up here. Why didn't you just do a one-piece sole? I originally tried that, okay? To get a one-piece sole to work, you would have to shave out a lot more than what I did, and I shaved out a lot. So basically, to get this to fit, you have to shave the bottom here. You have to shave the bottom here. And you have to shave the insides of the sole plate. So you have to shave the insides of these sole plates before you put them on. And it's not terribly difficult. It's just you have to be very careful, okay? The tools that I used was like a grinding wheel. I used a Dremel. I used a... what else did I need to use? You need like the regular skate tools to put the hardware in. You're going to need a drill, and basically it's not that complicated if you kind of get the idea of what you're doing, okay? So like when I got into this, it was kind of like, you don't really know what to expect, but you know what you want to see. And I was kind of like, I'm just determined to, I'm getting those sole plates on there, and they're going to look really good when I get done. And that was kind of the idea. And I think they turned out nice. Post your comments in this video and let me know whether you like them, you dislike. Well, don't tell me if you dislike them. I don't really care, because I posted them in the Salomon forum on Facebook, and there's half of them are haters, and you get like one or two that are like, yeah, that looks awesome. So if you're one of those guys who's a hater, don't even bother. This video is not for you. Amen. So this video is not for you. Go in, find somebody else's video that will do it the way you want to see it done. But I did trigger. And so I hope you guys like this video. So let me add one more thing in here. So you might be asking, well, why didn't you go with like Gods or USD Carbons? Because I wanted something that I knew I was going to like. Like, I've had a good experience with Salomons in the past. And even more so that I started seeing all these photos, that's what led me to get the Salomons. I'm like, that looks cool. And you can go get a Gods, you can go get a USD, but then you're gonna have something that other people have, and I'm like, well, I want a one-of-a-kind skate, like nobody else has to skate. The other one-of-a-kind that I had was I actually took the same skates back when I had them before. I took them and I skinned them with NIM skins, and they looked pretty cool. I liked the way they looked. They skated just like regular Salomons, but they looked like NIMs. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And the reason I did that is because the NIM shells were terrible, and they didn't let you put any heel pads in there. So I just basically said, okay, Salomons are extremely comfortable. Why not just skin the Salomons? And it worked, And my next mod to these skates might actually be looking for some skins for maybe like SSM, or I'm just going to basically find some cool looking black skins. And I might try to skin these skates and see how that turns out, and if that looks cool. I'm sure I could find a pair for like 20 or 30 bucks online. Someone's probably selling them, I'd imagine, in my size. So if you have a pair of skins that are in very good condition and you want to sell them and see them modded, basically I think that would look pretty cool. So put a skin on here and then re-put the sole plates back on, and so it would be like a skinned Salomon. So you get the comfort of a Salomon, but the look of a skin skate. So that would look, I think that would be really cool. So if you have any skins from that are, I preferably want some black ones. So like SSM has some black ones. I don't know if Nim did. If you do, leave a comments in this video. And okay, so this was the last thing I wanted to say was, so you might be like, well, why didn't you go with like Rossies or go with USD? So listen, I don't promote Rossies. And the reason why I would not promote Rossies is because Rossi has been releasing the same Majestic 12 for 20 years, 20 or 30 years. It's been a while. I mean, when I first started skating in like the 90s, they were releasing the first Majestic 12. And so any money that you give to Rossi is not going towards R&D to build new skates, because they re-released the Fifth Element. That was around when I started skating. So so the Majestic 12, and so you look at, you got Valos, you got, they just re-released they released new M12s in different colors and stuff, and it's like, any money you give Rossi is not going towards R&D to get a new skate out there, or do anything that productive. So I feel like giving my money to Rossi is a waste of money. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get any new products from them. You're getting the same thing that they've been producing for years. And so like, I like the blanks, the new rollerblade skates. I think those are look cool, and I think I was looking at watching a video on that. But basically, I was looking to get some skates for around $100. So I was looking to do it on a budget and get them for cheap, and I got them as a birthday present anyways, and they were only $100 plus, 20 for shipping, and then 50 for the sole plates. So I spent all around. I was all in. I'm about $200 into the skates, and I got modded solos the way I wanted. So So any skate company that keeps re-releasing the same product in different colors over a 20-year period of time, that just tells me that they don't really care about their customers, and they're just gonna keep releasing the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just, so essentially you're skating in an M12 from 30 years ago. It's the same mold. You know what I mean? So companies that are releasing new products, I'll support that. And companies that actually care about rollerblading and care about want to see this industry move on and move forward, that you can support, and I will support. You know what I mean? And we need to keep rollerblading hot and keep it fresh. You know what I mean? And I've noticed in the rollerblading scene lately that there's a lot of haters out there, and a lot of people just with bad attitudes and stuff, and they need to just chill. It's not, we're here to have fun. We're here to relax. Rollerblading is about just pushing yourself to new limits and doing cool tricks and having a good time. It's not about being like, hating on everybody else and stuff. So we should just, as a community, just think about that. And so anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will make a video of the first impressions when I skate them, and let me know what you think, and I will let you know what I think. Hope you guys like this. Thank you for watching.